Alright guys, welcome back to another one. So we've got something pretty cool to take a look at today. A remaster of one of the very first Kingdom Hearts overhauls I ever featured here on the channel. The Vanitas Overhaul for Kingdom Hearts 2, originally created by Xad. Some of you guys might remember that back in 2019 I was doing a playthrough series of this that I never finished. Yeah, KH3 Remind sort of released partway through that series, and my entire attention span was just sort of sucked into that. My apologies. But during the time, this was a pretty big deal, mainly because big overhaul modifications to Kingdom Hearts games weren't really a thing. Over the past 6 or so years, we've come great lengths in the Kingdom Hearts mod space. We've now got an abundance of different mods that totally change up entire KH experiences. The most impressive ones, though, are certainly the Kingdom Hearts 2 ones, as this engine is times more difficult to work with to create custom content for compared to something like Unreal Engine for Kingdom Hearts 3. I was talking with Xad last year and he gave me a very basic run through as to the process of what it's like to mod Kingdom Hearts 2, and I have to tell you, it's utter nightmare fuel. I had no idea what the man was talking about. It was almost as if he was trying to construct some type of computer program software to steer a rocket from planet Earth all the way to planet Neptune. This was some NASA-level rocket science. So massive kudos to the wizards out there that know how to pull this type of thing off. So you can imagine that during the time when the Vanitas Overhaul came out, this was like incredible to see. Since then, Xad's gone on to work on 2 other big Kingdom Hearts 2 overhauls, the Free Flow Overhaul and the Aqua Overhaul. They're both insanely impressive, but they are still in active development. You can subscribe to Xads Channel, which is in the description down below, to keep up with everything going on with them. And if you want an in-depth rundown of what Free Flow is, I'll leave a video to my showcase of that in the description below as well. But here we are in 2025, and the Vanitas Overhaul comes back. It's almost kind of nostalgic, with it now being available on the PC version of Kingdom Hearts 2. The port of this mod was developed by Kite with permission from Xad. You guys might be familiar with Kite. I've covered a few of his mods here on the channel, including the Birth by Sleep mod for KH2 PC and the Mirage Arena. But it's not just a simple port, it also brings in a few other additional changes as well. This is basically a remastered version of that original Vanitas Overhaul. Now some of you guys might be a little bit confused, like what do you mean port? Well, basically a lot of the Kingdom Hearts 2 overhauls that exist are generally always developed for the PCSX2 version, the emulated version of Kingdom Hearts 2, and not so much the PC version. This is because the two are a little bit different to work with, in the fact that modders for Kingdom Hearts 2 have been so familiar with modding Kingdom Hearts specifically for the emulator. From my understanding at least, it seems as if there's no real reason to switch over to the PC version. This is a great thing because, again, most of the overhauls only exist for PCSX2, which the majority of people who are currently playing Kingdom Hearts on PC are playing the PC versions and not the emulated version. So by now you've probably been able to put together that this is a complete character overhaul mod for the game that essentially allows you to play as Vanitas with a completely custom moveset. He's insanely strong and very quick. This is a different feeling type of character overhaul just because of how Vanitas attacks, how this moveset has been constructed. Kingdom Hearts 2's combat system is quite fast paced, I mean especially going from KH1 to KH2, but this kind of just like takes it up several notches. All of the action abilities have been renamed to align better with Vanitas' character, and how they work are completely different to the abilities they've replaced. Vanitas' dodge is a sort of side dodge cartwheel thing, where I believe this animation has been taken from Final Form Thunder. Vanitas' guard is a Keyblade spin, and I know for a fact this animation has been taken from the Timeless River reaction command for when Sora is deflecting Pete's trash. The magic system is quite different here too, depending on if you're using the magic on the ground or in the air. Blizzard works pretty normally on the ground up until the combo finisher point where Vanitas will dash forward and strike. If used in the air, Blizzard can create a sort of explosion effect. It pretty much works the same on the ground, though it can be cast a lot faster, but if used in the air, Vanitas will perform a dash, much like Fire Surge. Thunder performs a mini combo of sorts, with the Thunderbolt striking at the end of that animation. The aerial version of this magic is really useful, allowing Vanitas to down slam towards the ground. Cure now has damage properties, summoning a drive form shell that explodes, causing area of effect damage. But if it's used in the air, it'll do the same thing, but Vanitas will also warp to an enemy and down slash. Reflect is unchanged, though if used in the air, Vanitas will dash forward, much like fire. Casting Magnet on the ground causes a small drive shell explosion, and Vanitas will perform a small aerial attack when cast in the air. It's very similar to how magic works in other overhauls we've seen before, providing more function to each of the spells. And because of this, you find yourself using magic a lot more due to it being a lot more versatile. Vanitas has 3 custom drive forms. First, we have Xads replacing Wisdom.
Gotcha! Suffer! Gotcha!
Secondly, we've got Possession replacing Limit. And the final drive form here is Remnant form replacing Final form.
Gotcha! Suffer! Pathetic! Too slow! Anguish! Pathetic!
They're all incredibly powerful, especially looking at Possession and Remnant. These are insane drive forms to use. I mean, looking at Remnant here, just simply moving causes Vanitas to attack. I also like how all of the magic spells while using Remnant are various different attacks, and not so much magics. The limits for Possession Form 2 are this is just power incarnate. Xads is sort of meant to be a take on Dark Riku in a way. The regular way of attacking is known as Dark Aura, which isn't great, but all magic is enhanced here. Now, because there's only 3 drive forms here, you'll have to level up the summon gauge in order to acquire the rest of the drive abilities. All of the Keyblades throughout the game have been swapped out with the Birth by Sleep ones. This is an additional new thing for the remaster, as it comes from Kite's very own BBS Keyblade pack. These change up all of the stats of the Keyblades throughout the game. There's also brand new ways of getting Keyblades, such as defeating Lingering will present you with the Keyblade. Or the Gazing Eye can be found within the Cavern of Remembrance. Party members have taken on quite a change as well. In the original version, these were unversed, and depending on what weapon you would equip them with, would determine what type of unversed would be in your party. For the remaster here, Kite's implemented his Aqua and Terra party member mod, but they've been texture edited to look like Terranaut and Anti-Aqua, to fit the sort of darkness theme going on here with Vanitas. They come with their own unique attacks and abilities, and looking at equipment, they're obviously, of course, Keyblades, so all of the shields and staffs throughout the game have been swapped with the Birth by Sleep Keyblades. Something else that's new here is for the prologue of the game where you play as Roxas, you now play as Ventus. Kite implemented his Ventus mod, so this basically gives you Ventus's moveset imported into Kingdom Hearts 2. And instead of versing the Twilight Thorn, you're pitted up against a custom Vanitas boss fight. For Vanitas, any of the Roxas encounters are now Ventus. These fights are still mostly original, though some effects have been changed. Kite's unversed enemy mods have also been added in too, so there's a handful of different unversed in the game that aren't just model swaps of already existing Heartless, but do in fact have their proper moveset from Birth by Sleep. Now you might be curious as to how Pride Lands works here, so you still play as regular Vanitas, though movement speed has been increased here to sort of match the movement speed of Lion Sora. However, just like Lion Sora, drive forms are not usable. Cutscenes though do get a little bit wacky. Basically all of the cutscenes are using Lion Sora animations, but because the character character model has been replaced with that of Vanitas, we get some really interesting result. Now, a quick note on cutscenes for this overhaul. It really is just better to skip them. Most of them play fine. Looking at the low poly versions of Donald and Goofy, they will be replaced with Terra and Aqua. But the animations here won't work, so generally Terra and Aqua are just kind of like standing off in the distance doing nothing in the background, and when it comes to Donald or Goofy moving, Terra and Aqua will simply just sort of float forward. However, I did encounter a ton of crashes through watching the cutscenes, so it's probably just best to skip them. And like the nature of most Kingdom Hearts 2 overhauls, it's best to save whenever you can, as crashes can just randomly happen when you're transitioning through rooms or randomly just playing. I will say though that my experience here of the PC version compared to my experience with the PCSX2 version is a lot more stable. Now what's more is this remaster is also compatible with the PC version of the Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer along with Refined. So Vanitas Rando is possible along with the enhanced version of Kingdom Hearts 2, and the quality of life improvements that introduces can be put on top of this overhaul. It was simply fantastic to return to the Vanitas Overhaul. It's such a fun way of re-experiencing Kingdom Hearts 2. Though I will say that this overhaul certainly makes the game significantly easier. I was playing on critical difficulty here, but just due to the mobility of Vanitas and how insane his base combos are, along with those godlike drive forms. You simply just melt anything that comes in your path. Xad was actually telling me that he doesn't like to look back on the Vanitas Overhaul just because he's improved so much since then, and I mean personally I've seen it with the work that he's doing on Freeform and the Aqua Overhaul. They are levels above what we see here for the Vanitas one. But I'm just so happy that there's now an easier way for people to experience this fantastic Kingdom Hearts 2 mod. So a massive shout out to Xad for the original work he did on this, along with Kite, who put together the remaster for the PC version. Now, the mod currently isn't out right now, but Kite is planning on releasing it sometime this month over on the Kingdom Hearts 2 Nexus. So if you want to play this for yourself, be sure to keep an eye out on the Kingdom Hearts 2 Nexus over the course of May. However guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Be sure to slap that like button, it helps me out more than you know. Subscribe to the channel to keep up with everything going on here. A big thank you to my wonderful patrons, as always, for the continued support. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and we'll talk again real soon.